Hey guys, Wyatt here with week 2 of the From Scratch module, where we go ahead and build a complete authority site from scratch every single step once a week for 6 weeks. Okay, so last week was the first week, and we broke down the niche and keyword research. We went out there and had no idea what niche we were going to go into, had no idea what keywords we were going to go after. Now, I ended up here in a niche that I'm familiar with, which is wrestling. Okay, so I used to wrestle. I know a little bit about wrestling. So we decided to go into this niche because, well, the keywords were exactly what we were looking for. This is a niche that will probably be pretty easy to dominate with an authority site. So it's a good place to start out rather than just going for a very, very complex and competitive niche like losing weight or something like that. So wrestling was a good choice for us, and we found 5 keywords to start out with, and I have them over here. Freestyle wrestling highlights, wrestling head throw techniques, wrestling single leg tips, and collegiate wrestling moves, and also freestyle wrestling moves. Okay, so 5 different keywords here, and they all meet our basic parameters when finding keywords, which is taught in the core training module. So in this module, we're going to discuss complete site creation. So obviously before starting this video, I went out there and found a domain name for this site. I installed WordPress and posted some content on the site. But now I'm going to go ahead and backtrack and show you everything that I did in order to set up this site the right way, right? So it is a really simple process. You're going to get the grasp of it very quickly, hopefully, and you'll understand exactly what we're doing here to build out these first pages. So right away on the homepage of this site, you'll go ahead and notice that the domain authority is 1, right? This is a brand new domain name. We didn't pick up an expired domain. We're not starting with an advantage in that aspect. We just went out there and registered a brand new domain name for $10. And that's completely okay. That's what we chose to do for this style because we wanted a keyword in our domain name. We wanted the word wrestling in the domain name. So we went with more of a branded type of domain name. In this case, authoritywrestling.com is the brand, right? So maybe next week when we're doing some link building in the SEO module of week 3, then we'll link to the homepage with our brand name as the anchor text, something like Authority Wrestling, right? Authority Wrestling dash Insider Secrets of Wrestling, right? Just to tell Google what our site is all about, to brand it, okay? So the domain name is a brand. It's also a partial match domain, and you're going to see this in a little while. But basically what that means is when we build out our first pages, we're already going to have the word wrestling in the domain, so we never have to include that again after the slash. So we could do something like slash freestyle moves instead of slash freestyle wrestling moves, because that would be too over optimized and too repetitive. So that can be really powerful using a partial match domain name there. So that's the style that we went with for this site, and we think it's going to work out really well. This is a pretty simple niche, not very competitive, so we shouldn't have any problem going out there with a brand new site and building it up into an authority very, very quickly. Okay, so the content on this site, there are 5 articles for each of the 5 keywords that we went out there and found last week. Right, so these are all unique articles. We actually wrote them ourselves, but you could just pay someone, right, to write an article for $10 if you didn't want to write it yourself. But if you're on a budget and you want to get going right away, then just write them yourself, at least in the beginning. Okay, so that's what we chose to do here. So these articles are about 500 words each. Some are less, some are more. But if you scroll through and read this content, you'll notice that it's not very optimized, right? Which is good. It's very natural. So the keyword for this article is freestyle wrestling moves. We didn't just stuff that keyword freestyle wrestling moves in here a bunch of times. At most, it's in here 2 times, and that's more than enough. Okay? So we have an article for each keyword, and they're all showing on the homepage. That's literally all we've done so far. We got the domain, we got hosting, and we installed WordPress. If you don't know how to do that, you can watch those videos in the core training module, and those will show you exactly how you can go out there and install WordPress and get to the point where we are right now. And we just put 5 posts on the site with our unique content. So then I'm going to jump into the WordPress admin, and we're going to go ahead and install a plugin right away. which I always install on all of my authority sites, my money sites, which is Yoast SEO. So I'm just going to search Yoast and install WordPress SEO by Yoast and activate the plugin. So now we have SEO down here, and I can go to titles and metas really quickly and post types. And I've already edited this. I actually did it before the video, and then I just deleted the plugin again. But normally there will be more after title and page, and I'll just delete anything that's extra here. And same for pages. Just because, for the URL, all we really want to show is the title and the page there. And I'll click Save Changes. And that's really all set up in settings for WordPress SEO by Yoast. Now I'm going to jump over to the post and show you exactly how we can optimize these posts for these keywords and make sure it's not too over optimized. So as you can see, I've already edited this SEO title. I'll go ahead and delete that. But basically, we have a few things to edit on this page for each post. We have our main title, which right now is just our keyword, and I'm going to change that because right now it's just the keyword, right? We want to add in some extra, make it less optimized. We have our URL structure, our permalink, and we have our SEO title and also a description, which usually I don't set the description, but I always set the SEO title. And I'm always going to make this different than the title up here. I'm never going to make them the same. So right now, everything is just freestyle wrestling moves, which is our keyword, which is a little bit too over optimized. And even before this permalink was freestyle-wrestling-moves. So as you can see, the word wrestling is in this domain name twice. There's no point to do that, right? We might as well use the benefits of having a partial match domain and completely get rid of the word wrestling, and just make it freestyle-moves. So now we have authoritywrestling.com/freestyle-moves. Now let's go ahead and edit our title here. So I could just say something like some of the best freestyle wrestling moves of 2014 or 2015 or something like that. Or I could do a complete freestyle wrestling move breakdown step by step or something like that. It doesn't really matter too much. We can always go back and change this, but the thing to really just keep in mind is just to make sure it's natural and do not over optimize. Okay, so this is good right here. Now for the SEO title on Yoast, which is how it shows in Google, right? So this is the snippet. Right now it's just showing the WordPress title. I'm going to change this to something like top 3 freestyle wrestling moves and techniques, which I've already set that. So now, if this ever loads, okay, there we go. In Google, it's going to show as top 3 freestyle wrestling moves and techniques. In this post, we broke down 3 different wrestling moves. So yes, this is telling Google what our post is about. It's also giving the user something to click on, so this might get a better click-through rate than something that just says freestyle wrestling moves, right? So this is top 3 freestyle wrestling moves and techniques. And I'll just let Google find the description. I won't usually type that description. Sometimes you can. You don't have to. Change it up, right? Do it for some, don't do it for some. Doesn't really matter. And for this, I won't really put it in a category. Maybe the next post I will put it in a category. And we'll go ahead and update this. So we just took this, made it look more natural and less optimized, if you will. So here we have the post, which is ready for links, right? So next week, we can start building links to this page. We have our unique content, which is not over optimized. We have our URL set up the right way. We have our title, and we have our SEO title, which you can't see, but is set up. Okay, so now we'll hop back in and go ahead and edit another post. So we'll do wrestling and head throw techniques here. Wrestling head throw techniques. And this is all about one specific move in wrestling. So let's go ahead and set the SEO title first. We can do complete head throw breakdown. Not sure here. Let's see. Complete head throw breakdown. Understanding the head throw. All right, so it's not the best SEO title, but it works, right? Understanding and executing the head throw properly. All right, so basically, our keyword is wrestling head throw techniques, but we didn't just go ahead and stick wrestling head throw techniques. We have the word head throw, and that's it. That's the only that part of our keyword that we have in the SEO title, and that's fine because I know that in our other title here, we can maybe make it a little bit more optimized. So we could do something like wrestling head throw tips and techniques, and then in parentheses something like everything you need to know. And then I'll leave this headline here. I could honestly delete that. And I could put it in a category if I want to. We'll add a category like wrestling moves. Add a new category. And we'll go ahead and publish this. Oh, actually, I forgot to change the URL structure. So once again, we could probably take out the word wrestling, and we could even take out the word techniques, and I would probably just put head throw, right? It's a specific move. Or we can make a category called techniques or moves, and then the page would be head throw. So we could do authoritywrestling.com/moves/head throw. But for this, I'll just do authoritywrestling.com/head throw. And we'll update this. So as you can see, we're doing the same thing really for each post, which is just making sure that it's not completely over optimized, right? You never want to do that. Stay Google future proofed. Keep it natural. So looking through this post, we want to make sure that the word freestyle wrestling moves does not show up too often in the post. Actually, this was the last post. Let's go to the one we just made, wrestling head throw tips and techniques. So if wrestling head throw techniques shows up too many times in the post here, which is a pretty short post, then I would probably delete it a few times. Make sure that it's not too over optimized. So I see it like 3 times, which is probably too much because this is a really short article. Important information for wrestling head throw techniques. We'll just change this to about the head throw. All right, that looks good. So I'll go ahead and update that. Just making small changes to each of these posts, right? And that's really all there is to do for this week, right? It's pretty simple. We're just putting out these first few pages for the keywords that we found last week. We're putting unique content. We're making sure it's optimized the right way. We're building out these URL structures the right way. And we're getting ready to start building links to these first sets of pages so we can start to build up the authority of our site and start to tell Google, hey, our site is all about wrestling and we're an authority, right? And we'll keep putting out content and we'll keep repeating that process. So go ahead and do that. Set up your first pages for your authority site and get ready to start building links to these pages. It's okay that we're not building links right away. You can even let it sit for a few days after you post the content so it looks more natural, and that way, links aren't coming right away right after you set up the site and the content. So we'll start doing that next week. We'll start linking to these first pages and build up the authority of our site. But everything looks good here. Obviously, the theme is very basic, very minimum. That's how I like it, right? In the beginning, I keep it very bare. All I focus on is the content, building out the pages, and SEO. right? Building out those links and making sure everything is done right. I don't care about monetization. I don't care about design. Not until I start getting traffic and not until I start getting rankings will I start to focus on actually making the site look good and something that can make money. But right now, all I'm worried about is getting rankings and getting content on this site. So that's all for the week 2 of the From Scratch module and everything that has to do with site creation. And I'll see you guys next week.